Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Alexis Bellino accuses Slade Smiley of riding Gretchen's coattails and explains why RHOC lie detector test wasn't legit. Alexis Bellino claimed Gretchen Rossi's husband, Slade Smiley, needs to quit riding her coattails and go get a job. The Real Housewives of Orange County alum also suggested that the recent lie detector test was not legit by any measure. In a recent episode, Emily Simpson introduced the group to a surprise polygraph. Though she herself passed all the questions, Katie Janela allegedly failed all of hers. Katie has since suggested that Emily and Gina Kirschenheiter set her up using hired actors. The new season marked Gretchen's return as a friend of. In one scene, Gretchen claimed that Tamra Judge's false statements about Slade have kept him from getting jobs. On Carlos King's Reality with the King podcast, Alexis addressed Slade's relationship with Gretchen. "He needs to quit riding her coattails and go get a job," said Alexis, who was once Gretchen's ally and full-time castmate. "I think there was even one time in the seasons I was filming with Gretchen that she called him her schlepper. He schlepped stuff. I've never heard that word before. That's why it rings a bell to me. But stop schlepping and start bartending." One point in the podcast, Alexis addressed the polygraph. "I'm not a lie detector test person, but it led me to doing some research on my own about lie detector tests," she said. "It's in my blood. I went on Reality and I was supposed to be a detective. The truth behind a timeline of a lie detector test is that it lasts 1.5 to 2.5 hours for a person. So let me just do the math here with 7 housewives and only 2 polygraphers, around 4 to 6 hours for just one phase of the legit polygraph test. That means these women would have been there pretty much all night because there's 3 phases to a polygraph test. There's phase 1, 2, and 3, she continued. So under my calculations, I don't think these tests were legit by any measure." New episodes of The Real Housewives of Orange County air Thursday nights on Bravo. When it comes to The Real Housewives of Orange County, drama has always been the central currency. From dinner table meltdowns to wine-throwing chaos, Bravo fans know that if there's one thing the OC never fails to deliver, it's unfiltered shade. And recently, Alexis Bellino, one of the franchise's most memorable and controversial housewives, decided to open up about 2 explosive hot topics that continue to haunt RHOC history: Slade Smiley's role in Gretchen Rossi's storyline and the now infamous lie detector test episode. And let's just say, Alexis did not hold back. The Slade factor: was he riding Gretchen's coattails? For longtime viewers, the name Slade Smiley instantly conjures memories of a man whose dating life was nearly as dramatic as the show itself. Once romantically linked to both Joe De La Rosa and Lori Peterson, Slade eventually landed in a highly scrutinized relationship with Gretchen Rossi. Many fans felt that instead of carving out his own identity, he had a knack for clinging to the housewives he dated, surfacing in camera time, confessionals, and storylines that otherwise wouldn't have been his. Alexis Bellino seems to agree with that sentiment. In a fiery sit-down interview, Alexis revealed that she always had a sense Slade was strategically present rather than organically part of the cast's inner circle. "He was never truly a housewife husband in the same way as Terry Dubrow or Eddie Judge," Alexis explained. "Slade was more like an opportunist. When he realized Gretchen was rising as a fan favorite, suddenly he's right there in the spotlight with her. To me, it felt like he was riding Gretchen's coattails the whole time." Alexis went further, calling his behavior calculated and suggesting that his on-camera presence was less about supporting Gretchen and more about reviving his own relevance. "Slade always wanted to stay connected to the RHOC world," she said, "even if it meant attaching himself to whoever had the camera time. And Gretchen, she allowed it, maybe even encouraged it because it gave her storylines more intensity." Of course, Gretchen and Slade's defenders argue that their relationship was genuine, pointing to the fact that the couple has remained together long after the Bravo cameras stopped rolling. But Alexis doesn't buy that as a defense. Staying together doesn't erase the fact that his storyline was always piggybacking off hers. That's just the truth. The lie detector test that shook the OC. Now, as juicy as Alexis's words about Slade may be, her most fascinating revelation came when she turned her attention to one of RHOC's most dramatic episodes, the lie detector test. For fans who need a refresher, Gretchen Rossi once agreed to take a polygraph exam on camera in an attempt to prove her honesty to her castmates, mainly around accusations of infidelity and questions about the sincerity of her relationship with Slade. It was billed as a major reality TV moment, a high-stakes showdown between truth and lies, complete with buzzing machines, tense music, and housewives leaning forward with wide eyes. But Alexis says the whole thing was, in her words, not legit at all. People need to understand that polygraphs aren't admissible in court for a reason, Alexis explained. They're easy to manipulate. Person giving the test controls how the questions are worded, how much pressure they put on you, and even how the results are interpreted. It's not this foolproof scientific system the way Bravo made it seem. According to Alexis, the entire sequence was more about drama than truth-seeking. "We were making television," she said bluntly. Producers loved the idea of Gretchen proving herself in this grand way. But it was entertainment, not justice. The polygraph guy was probably more concerned about giving a dramatic moment than about following strict scientific procedure. She even hinted that Gretchen may have been prepped beforehand to ensure the test went in her favor. "I wouldn't be surprised if she was told exactly how to handle the questions or given a heads up about what to expect," Alexis admitted. "You can actually train yourself to pass a lie detector if you know what you're doing. That's why I never took that whole scene seriously." Why it still matters. You might wonder, why revisit these old storylines now? For Alexis, the answer is simple, because the RHOC legacy is built on moments like these. And as Bravo continues to expand its Housewives universe, fans still debate the truth of past events. "People always ask me about Gretchen, about Slade, about that lie detector," Alexis said. "It's wild that even a decade later, people still want to know what was real and what was fake. And the truth is, reality TV is both. It's real emotions, real relationships, but edited and heightened in ways that don't always show the full picture." She added that by speaking out now, she hopes to pull back the curtain a little bit. "I think fans deserve to know that not everything they saw was as authentic as it appeared. Slade wanted screen time, Gretchen wanted vindication, and the lie detector was a made-for-TV stunt. That's it. The Alexis factor. Of course, Alexis isn't just an outside observer. She was right in the middle of the RHOC whirlwind for several seasons. And she admits that while she's had her share of regrets, she also believes her perspective is uniquely valuable because she lived it. "I was there. I saw the dynamics play out in real time," she said. "So when I say Slade was riding Gretchen's coattails, that's not me being petty, it's me remembering how it actually felt on set. And when I say the lie detector wasn't legit, that's not an insult to the fans, it's just honesty." Alexis also hinted that she's learned a lot since those days, particularly about how reality TV can distort reality itself. "Back then, I didn't realize how much editing could change things. You live it one way and then you see it air and suddenly the narrative is totally different. That's why I think it's important to speak up now, because there's always another side to the story." A final word. So what's the bottom line? According to Alexis Bellino, two of RHOC's most iconic storylines, the Gretchen-Slade romance and the infamous polygraph drama, weren't exactly what they seemed. Slade, in her view, was riding Gretchen's coattails to stay relevant, while the lie detector was a made-for-TV stunt designed to create a dramatic episode, not uncover the truth. And whether you love Alexis or love to hate her, one thing's undeniable. She still knows how to get people talking. Reality TV is about entertainment, Alexis concluded. But don't confuse it with reality. Sometimes the best drama is the one you don't see, the one behind the cameras. With those words, Alexis once again cements her place as one of RHOC's most outspoken and unapologetic voices. And for Bravo fans who live for the behind-the-scenes tea, her revelations are nothing short of delicious.